Hello healers and health seekers, it's me, Ichota, healing with medical medium information for 33 months now. If you want to know more about what I am healing, my big page-long list of diagnoses, and all of my healing journey, it's all in the description box below. You can follow the links and go down the rabbit hole and learn all about me. Today, I am here for What's Up Wednesday. That's where I come here, I make a video, I talk about my healing journey, what's been going on with me, and that's what I do. Kind of keeping track of my healing that way. So, my week. I am still, as you can see, there's nothing behind me because this room is mostly empty. And there is not much left in here because this past weekend we took everything that we packed up, and my husband and two of his generous co-workers helped him move everything into storage, and that was stressful. Not in the way that most things are stressful. Like, it was actually went very relatively smoothly, and I didn't really have to do anything much to help them. I was just sort of up and about, puttering around and doing little fiddly end bits, like, you know, the bed frame still needed to be taken apart, so I took it apart and I got it all ready to move into storage. And I was sort of doing that sort of end stuff, sort of getting the last little things ready to go into storage while they were moving them, and they did all that. And then the rest of the day I was mostly just in the kitchen making food and smoothies and getting everybody sustenance, or trying to, because my husband got focused on the task and he didn't want to stop and take care of himself. I am an expert at self-care and I have mastered it, I think, whereas my husband is more like, get the task done, and he doesn't stop and feed himself and things like that, which I'm like, no dude, you have to take care of yourself because you gotta take care of this family. Like, the one able-bodied person who's like fully able-bodied needs to stay that way, and it's important. So I get on him a lot about it, and he mostly doesn't listen, but we're working on it. Anyway, so because I was up all day on my feet and doing tasks, and I didn't have my normal sort of quiet time, and there were people in and out of my house all day, and one of those people wore cologne, and even though he did not wear it that day, guess what, folks? Perfume and cologne stick to everything forever and ever and ever. We have a closet in this, it's right through those doors on the other side of the bathroom. The people who lived here before us, and remember, we've lived here for 18 months now, but the people who lived here before us used chemical scents. So they used perfumes, they used detergents, they used all that stuff, I don't know. And that's the closet of, I guess, what would be considered the master suite in this little 2-bedroom apartment. It's the bigger closet, and it's presumably where they kept their clothing, and it still reeks of perfume to the point where I can't be in that closet for more than 5 minutes without starting to get a headache. Like, I can't be exposed to it. I can't have the door of that closet open if I'm in the bathroom. I can't, when we had the door open because we were moving boxes into there during the weekends we were packing, I ended up with a headache because of that closet. That is cologne and perfume for you, you guys. It sticks to everything and it stays. So my husband's coworker not wearing cologne one day, when he wears it all the other days, like, he reeked of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was hard. So even though it was freezing outside, I had to have the doors open, the windows open, so that we could get fresh air, so that I could breathe and wouldn't end up having a headache because of it. So it was stressful for my body, you know, because there was a lot of stimulation in a lot of different ways for my nervous system, and it was exhausting. And that's just for me. Like, I wasn't even doing the moving stuff. I wasn't even doing like the really hard stuff. So of course my husband was exhausted too. And then Sunday I was still pretty wiped out. Oh, I will say though, that Saturday, so my husband and they had left with the moving truck, and then they were going to get food and then move everything into storage. And after they left, it was not so freezing cold that we couldn't go for a walk, and it was sunny and beautiful outside, and there was no wind. It can be kind of windy here, and there was no wind, so it was perfect. We went out for a walk, and we took Pendleton in his new stroller because I got him the stroller off Craigslist. Again, somebody doused it with perfume. It has been on our balcony for 3 weeks now. 3 weeks outside in the elements, trying to air it out, and it still reeks of perfume. I can tolerate it and deal with it when we're outside, and so it's not really that big of a deal when we're outside because the air flows and it doesn't get to me. But we can't bring it into the house. We can't bring the stroller in the house. But anyway, so we got the stroller off Craigslist, and it's this cute, it's a pet stroller. They make pet strollers. It's adorable. It's so cute. And we took him, and it's got like this little mesh top, which makes him, he really loves the mesh laundry hampers to play in, and it makes him feel safe and protected. So he feels like he's in the bushes. And I was really excited because the stroller has that mesh also, and I'm like, oh, that's going to be familiar to him. It's a safe feeling when he's behind it, and he knows he's safe. So we took him out in the stroller. We took him for a walk. It was just me, my son, Muffins, and Pendleton, and oh my gosh, we had such a good time. And it was really nice because, you know, my son was saying things like, it just feels so much better when you can get outside and get the air and the sun on your face. And I was like, oh, it was like really cool to hear him say that. And he said, yeah, that's why I'm always putting my face out on the balcony even though it's really cold, because it makes me feel better to have the fresh air. And I was like, that's really cool that he realizes that for himself. And so we just really enjoyed our walk. Oh, we saw robins, you guys. The robins are back. That means it's spring. So exciting. We saw finches, we saw chickadees, we saw doves, we saw the robins. We saw a hawk soaring in the sky, just soaring around us. And I was watching the hawk, and I looked up and I was saying to the hawk how beautiful they were, and it was such a gift to see them. And then the hawk flew like right over my head and let me watch him fly right over my head, like, you're welcome. And I was like, thank you. It was so cool. I love birds, obviously. I really love birds so much. And hawks, I love birds of prey. They're so beautiful and majestic. And I know some people don't like them because they eat other birds and stuff like that, but they also eat, you know, rodents. And I know people don't like them because they can take their livestock and small animals, but they are a necessary part of the ecosystem, and they are so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So that was such a gift. It was such a beautiful, beautiful thing to get outside. I will be honest, you guys, that's what part of this is about too, is I don't think I've been outside since like December, maybe January, but still, that's a long time. I am in here a lot. It's hard for my nervous system when it's extremely cold, but now it's been above freezing, so I've been able to go outside again, and I feel so much better. That is everything. That's why I'm excited to move to Colorado, because I will be able to be outside so much more of the year. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be good. So, yeah, that was a good part of our weekend, and we tried to go for a walk again on Sunday, but we were all just so tired. But then my son was like so itching to ride his bike that even though it was even colder on Sunday because it was windy, he didn't care, and they went bike riding, and that he exhausted himself, but he was happy, so that's cool. Oh, I love it. The weather's back. The spring weather. That means we can do outside things, and outside things make us happy. So that is great. And okay, what have I been eating this week? I have been eating, let's just call it raw till 4, and for dinner I have been having steamed things. So potatoes, sweet potatoes, Brussels sprouts, asparagus, all thanks to Costco. Holy moly, Costco is hooking us up right now We bought, I'm going to tell you about this celery. We bought Costco celery. Now, our Costco doesn't usually carry celery, which is why we don't get it there. We have been getting it at the co-op or Whole Foods. We don't really like to get it at the sort of regular grocery stores because their quality is not that great, and it's always like the bagged celery, and I don't like the bagged celery. And anyway, we try to avoid getting it there, but the price has gone up so much thanks to the healing movement of celery juice, which I'm not knocking. I mean, it's a supply and demand, I get it, and I'm so happy that the demand is so great that it's becoming an issue. I mean, I'm not thrilled for myself personally, but we actually still, because I'm in Wisconsin, where not a lot of people are catching on to the whole thing yet, it's still pretty available for us. But it is getting expensive because I don't think it's in season in a lot of places right now, so it's harder, I think, to get on a global level. So that is definitely also adding to the whole scarcity factor, and grocery stores, of course, are jacking up the prices. Anyway, Costco to the rescue, because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my Costco starts carrying organic celery. And my husband's like, they don't usually carry it. I've never seen it there before. But all of a sudden they have it, and it is delicious. It is such good celery, you guys. And I was like, I don't know if I want you to get it at Costco. I'm making fun of myself. I don't know if I want you to get it at Costco because it's the bagged kind, and I don't know. Because I don't like to minimize the plastic use. We obviously use it, but anyway, because of the quantity of celery we drink, I'm like, oh, that's a lot of plastic. So I wasn't sure. I was thinking, I don't know if this is gonna be like a good choice, and so he brings home like 10 bags. You know, it's like 3 heads in a bag, like 10 bags of this organic Costco celery, and he says, do you know how much I paid for this? And I'm like, no, what? And he said, I paid as much for this as I paid for like 5 or 6 heads of celery at the co-op or Whole Foods. And I looked at how many bags he had, and I was like, wait, because remember, there's 3 heads in a bag. So it was like 3 or even 4 times the amount of celery that we usually get. And I was like, oh my gosh, is it really that cheap? And he's like, it is. So I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, I don't know how this is gonna taste, knowing that it's that cheap. It is so good. It's sweet and it's mild, and there's no leaves because they cut off the tops, which they don't need to do that, but it actually makes it taste that much better. So, oh my gosh. I don't know if the Costco celery tastes like that everywhere, but holy moly, the Costco celery is good. So I am delighted. That's an awesome thing. And yeah, my energy's been, look, I'm not gonna lie, and you know from my last video, I've been stressed out. Moves are stressful. I mean, I'm not immune to that. Moves are stressful. They just are, and you have to give yourself extra support in times of stress. That means extra certain supplements like lemon balm and nettle, because those are really good for your adrenals, and ashwagandha and zinc and probably vitamin C, and you have to give yourself so much extra glucose, and I've been trying to do that, but I already sometimes have trouble even just eating frequently enough during the day. Anyway, that's my ongoing work that I do for myself, is to try to make sure I'm eating frequently enough, and so I have been trying to really up the fruit to help support myself, and I'm also trying to get my husband to do the same. Man, healing is my full-time job, and then when you have like a family to try to manage their healing as well, it can be just exhausting, especially in like a stressful time. And like I've had a couple of breakdowns about it. I'm not gonna lie. That's the truth. I've had a couple of just like, yeah, this is so hard. And big conversations with my husband about like him taking a little bit more ownership of his own health so that I do not have to constantly manage him. Because he doesn't like being yelled at, as he calls it. It's not yelling. It's just, I'm passionate about health, and quite frankly, I have huge PTSD about my chronic illness, and I have triggers still, PTSD triggers, and when my husband is not taking care of his health, that is a big trigger for me, because again, he is the one fully able-bodied human adult in our household. And if his health goes, I am still healing. I can do a lot right now for me, but I'm not up there to fully able to manage all the things. Like, I still need his support. I need him to remain able-bodied. And so I get really triggered about if he's not doing all the things he needs to do to take care of himself, like taking regular food breaks and, you know, just making sure he's getting enough into his body. It scares me. I mean, he's my husband. I rely on him. Our son relies on him, and his health is honestly almost as important to me as my health is to me. You know, like, the three most important people in the world, their health is me, my son, my husband, and it's very close as far as like how the priority of that. So yeah, I don't yell at him. I am passionate. He thinks it's yelling. He doesn't think he yells, which is hilarious because he has definitely the loudest voice and he does lots of yelling. But, you know, everybody's got their blind spots, right? What I call help, he calls criticism. It's always been that way. I don't know. And it's a time of stress, right? So everybody's stuff is heightened, and especially if you're not supporting yourself, if you're not like taking care of your glucose needs because you're expending a lot more and there's more adrenaline running and all this stuff is happening and there's all the stress around you, and then you really need to support with extra glucose, and if you're not doing that, then you do spiral into anxiety faster and you do get triggered more easily and you are lashing out and stuff like that, and that's what has been kind of happening. It's just something to take account of and try to do better, you know what I mean? And we're trying to do better. So we had a big conversation about it, and he's like, okay. Because I think sometimes, you know, he's just like, get off my back, and I'm like, he's not really seeing how much it scares me and how much I care about him and stuff like that. When he's not taking care of himself, it really scares me. And who could blame me? Big PTSD trigger, like, hey, remember what happened when that big, huge chronic illness happened and our whole lives were totally uprooted, and here we are, so don't want that to happen to you. And I know that it could, so it's just, yeah, what else? I mean, it's getting closer. It's getting very much closer. I think we're 12 days away. I'm not sure at this, I think it's 12 days. And then we're gonna spend a month with our family, and then we're gonna go to Colorado, and we'll be in Colorado in May. And then it's still a whole thing. It's just like, oh, this is just gonna go on because then we have to look for a place and so, oh my goodness, I'm nervous. I'm just nervous. So extra glucose, extra support, extra adrenals. I'm trying to get in extra fruit to cool down my adrenals, and I'm trying to breathe. I mean, seriously, just stop and breathe. That really calms things down a lot. It calms things down so much to just stop and take like 3 deep breaths and go, okay. Talking to the angels, doing my meditations, trying to find things to distract myself. Like, I watch stand-up comedy. So Mondays, a lot of times, I think I've talked about this before, but Monday a lot of times is sort of a recovery day for me from the weekend. And for sure, yesterday, I just took the whole, by yesterday, I mean Monday, I just took the whole day, and I was like, I'm not gonna think about anything. And I watched so much stand-up comedy and other nonsense on YouTube all day long. Well, not all day, but for when I wasn't in the kitchen, I would just sit down and watch YouTube. But and then sew patches on this old quilt that we have that we keep on the sofa, and my son, who freaking loves this blanket, and if I take it away from him for 5 minutes so I can sew patches on it, he's like, I need that blanket back. Even if I give him another one in his place, he really loves it too. But he will say, when are you gonna just buy a new one? And I'm like, well, first of all, I can't find another one like this. And secondly, we all love this. And I said, one day it's just gonna be patches. Like the whole thing, I'm gonna have covered the entire surface, front and back, with just patches. It's such a soothing activity for me to sew patches on this blanket. And I don't know, it kind of just calms me down and zens me out. And I'm doing something creative with my hands, which has always been a source of like meditation and calming for me. And it just feeds my soul, and I love it. And I don't know, people might go, that is such an inane activity, but I don't care, because it feeds me. It feeds me and I love it. So that's what I did yesterday. I was like, I am just giving myself permission to not have to like do anything. And obviously making food and doing the dishes, like that sort of doesn't count. Like, of course I'm gonna do that, but as far as other things, like I don't have to organize anything or pack anything or think about Colorado or think about even my website or anything like that. I'm like, I'm just gonna zone out and sew patches, and that's what I did. And it was good. So it was just what I needed to, because it just helped like detox the weekend out of me. And that was nice. So yeah, I guess, my energy levels have been weird because of that, but I've been doing okay. I've been keeping up with myself and managing, and yes, I have not been all raw this week, and I have just decided to be okay with it because, hey man, we're moving, we're under stress. I'm not gonna put more stress on myself because I don't need it. I'm good with stress. I'm good. I got it. I don't need to add extra pressure or extra stress or anything like that. Now, when I'm eating raw and I'm loving it and things are going great, of course it's totally not stressful. It's beautiful and wonderful. It's just that if I'm like, oh, I want to be eating raw and I'm not, or whatever, like if I do that, if I go into that spinning place, that's when it becomes stressful. If it's like I'm trying to make myself do something or whatever, I'm just doing what I'm doing. I'm just one day at a time, I'm just coping with all of it, whatever. It's all good. It's so funny because I actually sat down earlier and tried to shoot a What's Up Wednesday video, and it turned into a whole nother video. And it was about the attempted corruption of the healing movement that we are creating with our healing on Medical Medium. And I just went into this place. And I'm going to tell you what, the reason I bring that up, because I will post that video, you'll get to hear me rant and passionately about it. But so I shot that video early enough in the day that I had just only was drinking my lemon water, and then I had to go make celery juice for myself and my son, and then I made his smoothie and made my smoothie and stuff like that. Then I came to shoot this What's Up Wednesday video, and I'm going to tell you what, such a weight is off of me after that catharsis of that video. Because I felt like I just needed to say all that. I needed to say it and get it off my chest, and sort of, I think it was weighing on me too. I think it was, because I feel so much lighter now. And then I was able to actually shoot my What's Up Wednesday video and stay on topic. So yay me. Yay for catharsis. So you can do that, like even if you don't have a YouTube channel, you can make yourself like a private YouTube channel or just shoot videos of yourself. If you need to get something off your chest and you don't have somebody else to talk to right at that moment, because it's like 5 o'clock in the morning and you're not going to call somebody at 5 o'clock in the morning so that you can rant and rave. Just come shoot a video of yourself saying what you need to say, and you never know what you'll do with it. Maybe you will want to post it. My son is online with some friends of his, and they are playing a game online. You often will hear him in the background of my videos, and he can get loud and boisterous and have a good old time. And especially now that there is nothing to absorb the sound whatsoever, and it's so echoey, it's like all the noise just bounces. We'll see how that's going to be on the road. Anyway, thank you for watching, my healers and health seekers. I love you so, 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 so much. Thank you for continuing to come on this journey with me and for including me in your journeys. I love hearing from you. I love knowing about how your healing is going and how things are for you. And I'm feeling like I know some of you, and that is pretty freaking cool. And I just love you. I just love you. I love you. I love you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up below. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you can do that by hitting that subscribe button down there, or you can ding the bell next to it and be notified when I post a new video. Remember to stay curious, my healers and health seekers. So many blessings on your continued healing journey. You can heal. I want you to remember that. I want you to know that. It's so important to know you can heal. I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.